Hi everyone, it's Caroline. I'm going to use this one to demonstrate how I made this. This was a leftover piece of paper and it was right beside me and I thought it was the perfect size to add on to this. It's a double pocket. And I also made a tag for it using some off-cut scrapbook paper, a stamp, and embellished it. And I also used my latest, one of my latest makes with my faux tea bag tag, and I thought that would go in here really well. So I put that in here, and I'm going to share how I made it. And I guess I'm sharing this with you because I just love the way it came together, and also how you can, if you don't have printable tags, you can make your own and just use your stamps that you have or anything, just collage on it. So that's my little prototype there. This is an envelope that I'm going to use, and we'll just get started right away. Glue the top closed and do that. I think any envelope would work. I'm using, this was in my stash. You never throw away envelopes, and it's white, it's stark. So what you can do, you can tea stain these ahead of time or coffee stain. I'm going to use my vintage photo. I'm going to start working on it. And then all you do, kind of stagger your pockets, what will be your pockets. And then, and see, I did the staining here, which really you don't want to do that, or you don't have to do that right away. And then just do a very messy tear. Oh, the other thing that before I get started, one thing that I noticed when I made this is that the inside here is very white. So what you could do here is you could add some paper to it, or you can open it up a bit. We could take this a step further. I was actually thinking that I could open this up. You know, this is supposed to be quick and easy. You can make this as elaborate as you like. So I'll keep it as I made it. So just go in with your sponge, your dauber, and actually what I did to spread it around is I just took my brush pen or my water pen, and I just moved the ink around just so that when you open it up, it's not very stark. It's not so stark. And you can actually, you know, come in here and take this off a little bit more. You can give it a staggered look. I'm just going to keep it the way I did this one. I really love the way it turned out. So I'm doing all the staining here because, and I don't really have to, because what's going to happen is you're going to put your tag here, or your piece of paper. This particular one has a tag on it. And then the inside, do the same thing, and it's just very messy because we're going to add different things to it. And then on this pocket, so I didn't tear this one yet. Let's do that. You can keep it as straight or wonky as you like. I thought this was a fun, fairly quick. Okay, I've done a very rough inking, and the other thing I noticed is that I said it was vintage photo and it was actually frayed burlap. I kind of interchanged them. And it doesn't matter what this looks like right here because I'm going to be covering it with some kind of a paper. You could use a printable, any printables that you have. You can do this anyway. This is just like a vintage look. This is this was a big envelope that I received in the mail that I've been using to stamp off. And I just continued stamping on it and then adding some color. I'm going to use this because I already have it. Not precise. create your own pieces to add to the front and to decorate it, to embellish it. That's the fun. I guess I better make sure. Like that. Give it a little crunch on the edge. I like that unfinished or very used look. These colors are already coordinating, which I think we just use what we love. Wow, and if you decide to do these, if you haven't already, wouldn't it be fun just to share and see the different things that we can come up with? Okay, that is going to be glued down on here like that. Just looking at my prototype. The sliver. I'm just really layering this. I don't want to go in, cut into the torn edge. Manipulate it a bit till you're happy with it. Like that. This is the pocket. That's the front of it. So this one here, oh yeah, so then I made a tag to put inside, so we can do that. But for this part here, this is where I made my tag to add to the top here. And so for this, there's so many different options, and I'm going to share with you. This was my own art that I took a photocopy of. This was also my own art that I took a photocopy of. But I could use part of this here. I could use that on the inside and make a tag. And then I have this as a freebie from Digital Collage Club. And I could use this also. Actually, this one would be pretty. It's got a butterfly on it. I'm going to cut that out. You can see this card is short. It's small, so I'm going to back it onto something else. And that's what I did here. I made a card with some scrap paper, sewed around it, and then I added a stamp, a little bit of tissue paper. So for this one, I'm going to mount it onto a bigger piece of paper, and I'll use some scraps. And I have some scraps here. I actually have this piece of paper that didn't print out very well, so I can use these lines for something else. And I can use this on here. You could use cardstock, and I'll sew around it. So what you want to do is make it so that, and here I added a ruffle at the bottom because I wanted to bump it up so that the tag part showed on the back. But on this one, I think I'll just use the whole piece of paper. Okay. And it's going to be a tag. A very broad tag, but that's okay. And then on the back here, I will have to add a scrap. And I said it before in another video, I don't do this, not a tutorial, this is just a demonstration of how I did it, because it doesn't have, I don't have any proper instructions. It's just the way I did it, and because I kind of ad-lib, I improvise as I go. And that's why it's not, in my mind, it's not a proper tutorial. I like the way that the colors play there. Shabby grunge. Okay, that's good. This is going to go on here. I sewed around the actual art part of it, not the tag. And the other thing I'm going to do is on this one, all I did was I used a spool, an old, the inside of a calculator tape to make my faux reinforcement. I do have reinforcements, but I think I'm going to continue to use that method. So I'm going to do a little bit of color on here, and I think I'll use the ink that's left. I like the threads. This is all messy and all over the place, but when you put this on there, I think it turns out quite nice. Sorry about the, there we go, I'm out of frame. Okay, now I'll put my little hole right there. And I'm going to add this little vintage photo on here. Very wonky, doesn't matter. Okay. Like that. It's off a little bit, but that's fine. As I'm gluing this down, and also the possibilities are really endless for this, because you could just glue it down and make it an extra pocket. And I think I'll have to go in there with, there we go, on this side. Oh, I have to cover the back too. So you have a substantial pocket here. The whole size of the, and you have a pocket, a little skinnier pocket right there. Okay, so then we do, in here I wanted to make it, on this one here, I wanted to have a little bit of a journaling spot. And so I think I'll use this paper. Don't need a lot. And nothing was printed for this project. This was all using the colors and the things that I already have on my desk. So you see how it brightened it up a bit. I have to cover the back. What did I do over here? Oh yes, I added some stamping and this paper. So on the back here, let's do that one first. I'm going to use, okay, I think I might use this. Let's cut this apart and see if that'll work. this has really been a really good, making this first scrappy collage on the paper was I didn't think I'd use it as much as I have, and it's been coming in quite handy. Carrot. I don't want that red. Love it. So that's going to go in the back. Love that. Gives it a really good stability here. So what I did on the edge was I took my ruler and a fine, I actually took my micron pen, so I just went on the edge. I just did a line like this, little finishing touches. You don't have to do this at all. I love the way that looks. You could just do a little dash and do a faux stitch if you want. Little extra details, all things that you don't have to do. You can make this as quick as you want. And then up here, definitely sew it if you want to. Just try different ways to embellish it, make it your own. I was going to use this in here, use my faux tea bag tags. I could put a few things in here. Put that up there. Load it up as you want. Now I do want to make a tag for this. And I think what I'll do is I'll use one of these. That would be fun. No, not that one. Is that going to fit? This one? Let's cut it out and see. No, that'll be too big. But I can come around and fix that, and I can actually make it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to glue that on there. Adding a few little pieces of script on here. You can hardly tell. I could do the same up here. Okay, that didn't work. There, like that. So let's put my little hole punch in. And now I think that is a great way to use that up. I'm gonna have to put something in here and in here. And this could be complete. Let me see what I have. I have a tag. I have a tag here. It's a little bit bigger, so I could add some more in here. I already have my tea tag in this one, and I could add more. Measuring the size, and I like seeing a little bit of the card there. Okay, that's good like that. And then I have to cover the back. And this one can go in here with the tea. Yeah, that'll be good like that. Okay, so that's good. Oh, isn't that appropriate? I just noticed that this is a tea bag tag, and there's a cup of flowers. Okay, so you know, you can see here that you don't need any printables at all. I'm using what I have. and kind of coordinating things. You definitely don't need to. This one here has no printables at all. And so that's why I wanted to share that with you. Then this one here, I need a different piece of paper. I actually have a scrap right here, so I'll use this. And you'll be able to see the underneath, but that's okay. Just using it up. That's great. Give it a little bit of a distress, little edge. Let's do 2 edges. Okay, I just found a piece of ribbon in my little scrappy fabric jar and lace jar. So it's this little piece of ribbon, satin on one side, and I just give it a little distressing. I already did the main tag here, and I'm going to do the same thing on the tag that I'm going to insert. And I'm using the leftover faux tea bag paper that I made, and I'm going to use this tab punch that I got at the thrift store. I got my 2 little tabs. I'm just going to pick a spot here. I could have gotten fancier and put something underneath it. We don't need to do that. Let's do the same here. Just use what's available. Little things. This is fun. Little things. Well, thank you. Today's fun project was using a scrappy extra envelope, just a regular envelope, and taking the sides and tearing them down, making 2 pockets out of it. I did a front here with just a scrap piece of paper that I stamped on and did some inking. Also I used some lined paper here that was not, it was a misprint, so I used that on here. And then I had some a sheet of free tags, and so I just made a tag with this. I sewed around it, glued it on. The back was my own artwork that I photocopied, just a collage. And then in the pockets, I added another tag that I made. Used some of my faux tea bag paper, sewed around that, and then I added my tea bag tag that I made. I put one of those in there. And then I also used another piece of this paper to back this little tag, bookmark tag. And then on this pocket, in this pocket is another tag that I made. Journaling card topped with a tab. And that is today's fun make. And then this was my before bed prototype. Thanks again, everyone. Stay adventurous and stay fresh. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.